más detalles. La mujer es para quererla, la mujer es para adorarla.
Good evening. My name's Lucy Johnson. I'm the author of the Scottish Boomerang, a current and legal affairs blog. I'm a graduate law student based in South Korea, and prior to my studies in law and international affairs, I was a sexual health counsellor, and I trained in sexual health education and promotion at Glasgow Caledonian University in the UK. I want to talk to you today about alternative feminine hygiene products. If you're grossed out by this, you have the opportunity to leave now. Okay, still with me, that's great. Okay. Our problems to do with periods center around these things. Disposable feminine hygiene products, which we go through about 10,000 per woman per lifetime. They're nasty for the environment, they're not biodegradable, they hang around in landfill sites, in our beaches and in our sewage systems for years and years. They are expensive. Each woman will spend about $3,000 in a lifetime on these things, and they don't really work. Many women with heavy periods will testify to this, that they slip, bunch, leak, are excruciatingly uncomfortable, even painful. They are linked with vaginal dryness, vaginal infections, toxic shock syndrome in the case of tampons, because of all the bleaches and chemicals and absorbency gels that are contained in them. They are nasty for the environment, nasty for your body, and nasty for your pocket. And there are alternatives out there. The alternative that I discussed in my blog article this week was this, the menstrual cup. And this is called the Moon Cup, which is manufactured in the UK. The American version is called the Diva Cup. It's manufactured in Canada, and you can check it out at this website. There's also another European version called the Lunette. That's manufactured in Finland, and you can check it out at this website. And what they are bell-shaped, flexible silicone cups which fit inside your body. You insert them like you would a tampon, and instead of absorbing menstrual fluid, they collect it. So it's much kinder to your body. It doesn't interfere with the chemical environment of your insides. And it just allows your body to do what comes naturally without causing any kind of interference or chemical imbalance. Nothing can grow on this. They're completely hygienic, and you sterilize them between each cycles, and you wash them well when you empty them. To insert it, you fold it into a C shape like this, and this makes it a little bit bigger than your average tampon. If you think that your vagina can expand to fit a baby's head, then it can expand to fit this as well. And you wet it a little with water or KY to ease insertion. And I'm going to demonstrate how to insert using the euphemism. Now, if you are grossed out by the fact I'm using a wine glass, this is a new wine glass. I bought it for this demonstration purpose, and nobody, including me, will be drinking out of it. Okay? Okay. Here we have it. The relevant part of your anatomy slopes upwards like this. To insert it, you fold it into a C shape. You insert it into your vagina, angling towards your tailbone or back rather than up. If you angle up, you won't get a good seal. Angle this way. Once it's inside your body, it will expand naturally. And you give it a twist, the rim will form a light seal with your vaginal wall. 8 to 10 hours later, you'll need to empty this. On heavy days, you need to empty it more frequently, even if it's not full. You squeeze the base gently and ease it out of your body, keeping it in an upright position. You tip the contents down the toilet, You wipe it with, I use antibacterial baby wipes in public washrooms. When I'm at home, I use antibacterial soap and hot water. And you reinsert it. You need to place it lower down inside your vagina than you would a tampon. And it sits just there for most of the time. They're very comfortable once you learn the knack of placing them right in your body. And you can wear them for longer than a tampon. And the whole experience becomes much more comfortable once you learn the knack. The learning curve is a little steeper than a tampon. You need about 3 cycles to get used to the knack of taking it in and out and inserting it properly. But once you do, very few women ever return to using tampons. Now, there are some things which the manufacturers haven't considered, because this was invented in Western Europe and the United States, and really there are so many cultures in the world where the management of this is going to be a little bit harder. And the reason is that in traditional cultures there's very often a separation between above waist stuff and below waist stuff. So if you come from Orthodox Jewish homes, Muslim homes, Eastern Europe, Latin America, South Asia, the chances are you're going to have a bit of a problem with managing this. The manufacturers say sterilize it in an open pan of water between cycles on the stove. That is a no-no in many cultures in the world. You have to keep bathroom stuff in the bathroom. And also when you travel, that's not always possible. I can't explain what it is usually in the developing countries that I live and work in. So what I do instead is I have a small Tupperware box like this, which I filled with surgical spirit. And all I do is I pop my moon cup, my menstrual cup, in the box. I seal the box so the surgical spirit can't get out, and the moon cup sits in there quite nicely and is sterilized when I leave it overnight. And that's all you really need to do. Sterilizing in an open pan of water isn't going to work. And the other thing is, if you come from a culture where it's really important to have an intact hymen on your wedding night, it's also not a good choice to use this prior to your marriage, because it will break your hymen if you have an intact one. So it's not the best thing, I think, for a virginal pubescent teenager or someone who comes from a culture where intact hymens are pretty important. But for everybody else who prefers to use internal products, it's probably a good idea to try it. They cost about $30, €30 or £18 sterling. And certainly it's saved me in the 3 months that I've had mine. It saved me a packet or several. Okay, well, that's all about the moon cup. I hope this hasn't pressed too many TMI buttons. Bye.